My grandfather passed away a year ago, and today is his birthday. It's strange how time works, how it can stretch and contract depending on where we are emotionally. Some days it feels like it happened just yesterday, other days it feels like it was a lifetime ago, like I've lived 10 different lives since then. One of the reasons I created this YouTube channel was as a kind of escape, as a portal into a softer, funnier, more expressive version of myself. Here, I got to draw and ramble and present myself as a quirky little pink-haired gremlin-looking creature, talking about anything and everything. My emotions, odd thoughts in the middle of the night, my dreams, my hopes, the things that I thought about pop culture, and overall what I thought about the community that I was a part of. It was joyful. It felt like freedom. But then university started, and suddenly it was like someone had drained the color out of me. Every day felt gray. All my creativity just disappeared. I felt like a husk. Sometimes, like I was watching my own life unfold from the outside, a specter in my own body. I stopped posting, the silence grew, and then, June 3rd, my grandfather passed away. But I didn't know. I was in the middle of exams. It was final season. My family decided to shield me from the news. They thought it would distract me, that it would crush me. And maybe they were right. So they waited 2 weeks. 2 excruciatingly long weeks before telling me. But a month before his death, we'd already had a terrifying wake-up call. He had been mildly sick for a while. Nothing extremely serious. He was tired, a little off. He had this cough that would never go away. My grandmother, worried, took him to the hospital thinking it might be something, although serious, something that could easily be treatable, something like pneumonia. But what the doctors found shattered everyone. It wasn't pneumonia. It was cancer. Everywhere. Head to toe. Final stage. There was nothing to be done. They gave him 3 weeks to live. 3 weeks. The man I knew was strong, generous, full of life. He was the one that practically raised me. And he would be gone in less than a month. There was barely time to understand it, let alone process it. Everyone was in a constant state of shock. The morning of my last exam, I found out I have failed one of my finals. But I couldn't focus on that. All I could think about was whether staying behind in Spain to retake it would mean missing the chance to see him before he died. I didn't know he was already gone. I didn't know that the time I had thought I still had already run out. As I walked to my exam room, I felt this enormous weight in my stomach. Not from the test, but from a fear I couldn't name. A fear of losing someone I loved. A fear of being too far, too late. And when I finally returned to my dorm that day, my phone rang. It was my grandmother. Through broken sobs, she told me the truth. He had passed away 2 weeks earlier. I tried to stay composed. I tried not to cry too much, but my eyes were already full of tears. I saw the world through what I can only describe as colorful blobs, which is ironic because I was feeling anything but colorful at the time. He died at home, surrounded by his loved ones, and when they came to take his body away, my grandmother couldn't bear to watch him leave. She covered her head with a blanket. She just couldn't. They had been married for 40 years. They were soulmates in every sense of the word, not just in love, but in rhythm, in energy, in spirit, the yin to their yang. So when she started smelling roses in the house after he had passed, it meant something. It meant everything. She doesn't own any rose-scented candles or perfumes. She's a lavender and lemon kind of woman through and through. But the scent was there, lingering, unmistakable. And not just for her. Others noticed it too. My uncle, who's a Buddhist, said that it was his spirit, that my grandfather had stayed behind, just for a while, to comfort the woman he loved. And while I'm deeply grateful he stayed for her, if I'm being honest, I was a little jealous. I wanted a visit too, even just for a second. Something to remind me that he knew I loved him, that I hadn't forgotten, and that he hadn't either. This past year, I've changed. A lot. I stopped drawing, I stopped creating. Every little thing I used to enjoy became heavy, exhausting, meaningless. I think of video ideas and then try to force myself to bring them to life, but you can't fake art. The content felt soulless because at the time I felt soulless. I also left law school. To be honest, I wanted to leave almost from the beginning. I felt out of place. The only thing that kept me going were my friends and the hope of making my parents proud, but the environment was toxic. Cutthroat. I felt like I was being forced to become a wolf, when in reality, I'm a sheep. Soft-hearted, sensitive, creative, trying to keep up in a world that didn't feel right for me. Before he passed, my grandfather made me promise him one thing, that I would get a degree, that I would be a professional, and I still intend to keep that promise, but now I'm doing it my way. A new university, a new major, a path that brings me closer to the life I actually want to live. I'm not trying to return to the person I used to be. I'm trying to gently rebuild her, to take parts of me that brought me joy, to reintroduce them one by one into the version of myself that exists now. Because grief doesn't mean we have to stop living. It just means we carry someone with us as we do. Today I poured him a glass of whiskey, his favorite. I lit a candle in his name, and after I finish recording this, I'm going to walk outside and pick some flowers for him. Flowers I'll gift in his memory, not just of his death, but of his life. If you're looking for a moral of this story, there isn't one. Some things just happen, and we survive them. We learn from them. We soften and grow, sometimes break, but we keep going. He may be gone, but I know deep down he's still with me. In the scent of the roses, in quiet moments of peace, in the promise I made to keep going. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself and don't be a stranger. Peace.